You guys, happy Thanksgiving. I mean, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but we're trying to do a lot of prep today. I try to get as much out of the way as I can the day before. And a lot of these things you can put in like I made my stuffing earlier, I made the cranberry sauce earlier, I might make a soup later today, but my cleaners just showed up. And this is a quick one that I can finish and get down in the fridge and move on with some other things like getting the rotten pumpkins out of my front yard, which, don't judge me. I'm trying to run a design empire here. Anyway, I'm trying. We're going to make this sweet potato casserole. It's not like the marshmallow-y kind. Okay. Don't panic. Don't worry. Unless you like that kind, but I don't make that kind. This is actually a recipe from my ex-step grandmother-in-law. And I don't know if I got all the order on that wrong, but, who knows, but out of, it's a great recipe. So, anyway, what we're going to do is it's a mashed sweet potatoes. You make mashed sweet potatoes, and we've done that together, but I'll run through that again with you. And then there's like a topping. Okay. So we're going to work on the topping together. We're going to mash the sweet potatoes. Since they're for tomorrow, it doesn't matter if they stay warm. I peeled them, boiled them in salted water for about 25 minutes. And then they're in a colander in the sink. It does matter a little bit because I want them hot enough to melt this stick of butter that's in the hot pan. I'm actually going to turn on the burner on low under that so it melts a little better. And I'm going to grab these sweet potatoes. It was 2 giant ones, okay? I don't know if you've seen some of these, but they're like 9 inches long. So it was 2 giant ones of these. It looks like, I don't know how many cups that is, but it's over a quart, at least. It's like a quart and a half, maybe 2. So I'm going to take these in here and I'm going to pour them in here because unlike mashed white potatoes, which I'm very serious about this, I want you to use a ricer, not a masher, for regular potatoes, because regular potatoes get gummy if you use a masher on them. But sweet potatoes are not potatoes and they don't have the same amount of starch in them. So it doesn't matter if you mash them. Okay, so I'm going to get out my long lost masher, which I mostly just use for banana bread. Okay, and we're going to mash these things up. And we're going to hope that this butter melts enough from being warm that it will melt in there. And while we're waiting for that butter to melt a little bit, see, they're soft enough. I probably overcooked them, but that's okay. I mean, basically, like I was doing other stuff and I didn't put a timer on. Unlike a lot of things, it doesn't really, they're not going to get overcooked. I mean, you can't really do that. Okay. So this is what that looks like now. Okay. And the butter's still in there and I'm going to leave this on low just to kind of get it going. Now, since we're using Helen's recipe, we're going to use also the casserole that Uncle David gave me, our Gump's Gold casserole, oven to table, you guys. This is basically like the same size as a 2-quart ramekin. There's like, it's not dirt. I don't know what that was. It was like a little piece of plastic. Okay. This is like a 2-quart ramekin. You can use whatever kind of 2-quart ramekin you want. And while I'm waiting for that butter to fully melt, we'll make the topping, okay? So now, this is one of those things. On Thanksgiving, we do things like use cornflakes in recipes because we're very middle America about it, okay? I got the organic one. So I'm going to do those first. We want like a cup of cornflakes, okay? And since cornflakes have a lot of like loft, let's do a cup and a half because they have a lot of loft, right? And I'm going to use a muddler to smush them up. Remember, bar tools are kitchen tools and they are just as effective on food as they are on fruit garnishes. It's the same thing. You can also kind of smush them with your hands if you don't mind getting in there. Okay, a little faster. And I don't mind being messy. I mean, I used to be a farmer. Okay, so We're also going to use some pecans. I am pulling out, you know, what's the rule about pecans? Where do pecans belong? Where do pecans live? They live in your freezer, right? To keep them from going rancid. And I forgot to pull mine out to chop them, but luckily, you know, last week me got some chopped ones too. So we have some chopped up pecans. Recipe ready. This is 2/3 of a cup, okay? I'm gonna throw that in. And honestly, you know what? I don't know if this is the right proportions that Helen used. I just kind of like go with it because, you know, you just kind of figure it out. Sometimes you just have to figure things out. Now, I know you usually pack brown sugar. I'm not going to pack this brown sugar. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of unpacked brown sugar. I'm going to put that in there too. Okay? So it's 1.5 cups of cornflakes. What was that? I said 2/3, but I think we're going to make it 3/4 of a cup of the pecans. This is probably more topping than I need, but I kind of really like the topping. It makes this really nice crust over it, and it keeps the potatoes from drying out when they're in the oven. It's great. I'm going to take 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to put it in the sweet potatoes, okay? And then I'm going to take another 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to put it in the topping. All right? Now, let me grab a spoon. And we're going to mix this all up, okay? You can get in there with your hands. And the way that we're going to do this tomorrow is that, so I've got the topping already. And I'm actually going to put some saran wrap on this, or I might put it in a Ziploc bag and set this aside so it doesn't get soggy. I'm going to put these in the fridge in the ramekin, okay? And then I'm going to put these in a Ziploc bag and kind of put them somewhere my cleaners won't clean them up, right? Somewhere out of the way. And tomorrow, when it's time, I'm going to add some melted butter to this. Like, you know, like 3 tablespoons of melted butter, just enough to kind of moisten it, right? And to make all that crispy when you put it in the oven. Okay, the butter's melted. Did you hear that? It was like simmering. So I'm going to get this all nice and stirred up. I'm just using my masher to stir it. And I'm going to put, super loud banging, sorry. I'm going to put these in the casserole, these in the Ziploc bag, okay? This goes in the fridge with some foil over it. And then we're going to melt 3 tablespoons of butter tomorrow. And we're going to put this in, then we're going to put these on top, and then we're going to like drizzle the top with the melted butter, okay? You might want to add a little salt. I was just thinking, like, I'm going to add some salt to these potatoes before I go in. So like 1/2 teaspoon of salt, not a lot, you know, and that's it, okay? And then we'll just, you can either, and especially remember this with warming up the Thanksgiving leftovers. If you, or not leftovers, the dinner. If you pull everything out of the fridge like a 1/2 hour at least before you put it in the oven, it won't take as long to heat up in the oven, so it won't dry out as much, okay? So just let it kind of come up to room temperature like you do with like a steak or something like that. We're gonna do that with the turkey tomorrow too. We're gonna rub it all over with butter and let it sit there for like an hour and then put it in the oven, right? Patience is a virtue. I think that's it. And I mentioned earlier today, go and look for December 7th from last year, because I spent Thanksgiving with Kitty in Dallas. I did the cranberry relish, the orange cranberry relish, after I came home from Dallas for myself. I mean, I made some for her. We made some for myself here, and we did a video of that together. December 7th, okay? Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'll see you guys later or have any conversations with you about gravy. Maybe we'll take a wild hair and make gravy tomorrow.